Hello students, Miss Lockhart here. Let's work on our drawing all about color emphasis and overlapping. We'll be using one block letter. That can be any letter of your choice. I'm choosing L for Lockhart, so it'll be the initial of my last name. You could do your first name's initial. First, write it out, capitalized, and then frame it with a line that mimics the same shape or angle of your letter. I'll show you a few more times, and then you can erase the letter that was just drawn in the middle. So let's practice with an A. Okay, so I'm writing the letter A, and now look how I do those horizontal lines at the ends, the bottom of the A, and then at the top there's a horizontal line, and then around the diagonal straight lines of the A, the triangular part of the A, I mimic that line, and I go ahead and trace around it, make a frame, and then you can erase the letter on the inside. So let's try it again with the W. I'm doing those horizontal short lines at the tips or at the ends of the W and down here at the bottom points. And then I'm connecting those horizontal lines with diagonal straight lines to create a W shape. Now you can create a block letter however you would like if you have a different way, and choose any letter you like that is important to you. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut mine out. When you're ready, you can cut out your block letter. Make sure it is at least 2 inches tall. It can be 3 or 4 inches also if you would like. Mine is about 2 inches. So I'm going to cut out my L. This is our tracer, so we'll be tracing this at least 20 times on our paper. We'll be overlapping it as we trace it. And go ahead and use a pencil to begin tracing as soon as your letter is cut out. Now we are going to go ahead and start anywhere on the page and trace away with your pencil line and overlap your letters. So one is on top of the other, which means it would look closer to you in real life. And we'll work on that more. I'll talk to you more about overlapping in a little while. But for now, don't worry and just go ahead and trace your letter all around. Do overlap it on top of other letters so that the lines will cross or intersect. You'll see here, I'll do it again in just a moment. So I'm going to put this L on top of the other one and just trace right over the L beneath it or behind it so that the lines cross. So we have lots of L's, and I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. You can pause the video, of course, if you need. And go ahead and fill up your page with at least 20. Try to evenly space it around so it is balanced. It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but it doesn't have to have a sense of balance so that it feels about the same weight on both sides. But it's not perfectly symmetrical. It's called asymmetrical balance. All right, guys. So once your letters have been traced and they're overlapping and asymmetrically balanced, which just means pretty evenly spaced out around the page, we can start to trace. Now, you do have to think a little bit about this as you are tracing your lines. You want to make sure you choose the first letter that you want to stand out and pop off the page with different color to have the color emphasis. So I'm choosing this L here. This is going to be the L that is closest to us and also the L that has the bright color that is different from the rest of the colors. So once you choose your main letter, you can outline it with black or anything you have at home to outline, or here at school, any color. I prefer black marker. You can try black crayon or colored pencil also. Okay, outline it and then erase where the lines were still inside that block letter. Now, let me show you some other fun ways to trace and see whether or not your shape will be above or below the one next to it. So I'm choosing to trace this one next, and it's going to be behind the L I had already done, and it's also going to be behind this third L that I'm tracing. So I just have to keep in mind where I'm doing my outline. So you can see there we have 2 L's that are overlapping that L in the middle of the 2 of them. And that L in the middle of the 2 is behind it. It's a little further away than the other 2 L's that are closer to us or on top. So I'm going to continue tracing, and you get to choose what letters are behind and in front. It's up to you. You'll just have to choose one letter that is in front to have your color emphasis on. So you can go ahead and just have fun outlining. Keep in mind if that letter you're outlining is behind or in front. So let's see. This one here is going to be behind the L to the right, and it's going to be behind the other two L's that are overlapping it. So check out how I do that. Make sure to stop and see, what do I need to trace? What is overlap or above or on top? So this L here on the left is going to be above all of the L's around it. And then we'll go ahead and continue this L that is also going to be above the L below it, but behind the L to the left. Now, don't let this don't let this be too complicated for you. Just go ahead and outline it however you would like, just making sure that you do have some letters that are overlapped, which means one will be closer to you or in front and the other letter will be behind it. And if you make a mistake when you're outlining, that is totally fine. It'll look really cool no matter what. So let's go ahead and practice some more. So I've decided that this L I just outlined is going to be behind this one to the left of it. And it's going to also be in front of this next L that I'm now tracing. So lots of practice with overlapping. And just trying to be aware of what shape goes where and how you would like it to look. So I move down a little bit here. We can look at some more samples of how to do this, more examples. I'm going to go ahead and outline that L, and it's a good time to start erasing these pencil lines to make it look nice. Okay. So you can see how it's turning out. I'm going to continue to outline a little faster, and you of course may pause the video whenever you would like. And do remember to think about space. Your L's are going to be overlapped, or your letters, I should say. They could be any letter. Some of them will be closer to us, to the viewer, and some will be further away. The ones that are further away are the ones that are underneath, the ones that are overlapped. Great. Now, you might need more time to finish your outlining, so please pause the video if you need to. We're going to use two colors once we're done overlapping. One color for the background or the negative space. The positive space are the L's. The negative space is the space between it. So the L is positive, and you need to choose one that is on top, that is the one, closest to you. Choose one that is overlapping others for your one color. So I've chosen pink and green, and my L is going to be green, and the background is going to be pink, so that the L that is green is emphasized with color, and it will stand out a lot. It'll really look like it's coming towards us and that it's closer. And that's happening with two things. That's happening with color emphasis, because the L is emphasized with color and bright, and that's where our eye is going to lead us to. And then it's also being brought forward because of the overlapping. It is closest to us. It's an illusion, right? The illusion that it's closer when things are behind it. So that is our goal. And you will see how I color this. I'm using highlighters. I love how bright they are, and I especially like the brightness because we are talking about color emphasis, and I want the color to be vibrant. I suggest using a vibrant color for your one letter that is emphasized. So maybe use yellow, or a bright green, or a bright orange. Go ahead and do that one letter first with your one color you have chosen. That'll be different and brighter than the color for the negative space or the background. So you can see I'm pointing here to the background negative space. A bunch of interesting shapes were made back there. So go ahead and take a look. Where is your negative space? Where is your background? And then once you can tell it apart from your letters, color it in. Take your time coloring it in. This project might take 2 class periods, which is definitely all right and worth it because it's so fun when it's done. And you can see here what it's starting to look like when it's done being colored. And wow, does our eye sure go to that emphasized L with the color. So that is color emphasis and overlapping. I hope you enjoyed this project. Cannot wait to see how yours turned out. Please submit your finished artwork to me in Schoology. Thank you, everyone.